I'm Jen.
And I'm Craig. And once again, this is the Knot Project.
Welcome to Monday's Marriage Meltdown, because we all have meltdowns in our marriage. Sometimes our marriages act like 3-year-olds, huh?
Yes.
Throwing little tantrums?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So today we are talking about how to support your spouse through stress. And I would say we're speaking from real live experience right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Craig's been a little bit stressed out lately, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
A little, yeah.
Yes.
So we wanted to give you the 4 E's to ease yourself through this meltdown. So, number 1, first E, is to empathize with your spouse when they're stressed.
Right.
So it's your turn.
I'm doing the whole thing, huh?
You're doing the first 2.
Okay, so
We have notes.
Yeah, very important. So the first thing you want to do is you want to listen. That person your spouse may or may not be open to communicating with you at that point, but they are going to be speaking and acting in a way that you know is indicative of a high level of stress. So you want to be paying attention to that so that you can pick up on these signals. Like I said, it may not always be verbal. It may be nonverbal. It may be facial expressions or whatever. But you as their spouse will be able to recognize it and then respond to it. And then once you pick up on it, you want to empathize with them. You don't want to. Yeah, you want to validate those feelings. You don't want to minimize them. I tell you, nothing is going to make it worse than minimizing how they feel or what they're experiencing. So you want to definitely validate that. And then finally, when they do feel open to share and be with you and kind of share that experience with you, you want to be a safe place to listen and be encouraging and take in what it is they're trying to communicate with you.
Yeah, so I have had, I'm trying to make it past tense, a bad habit of taking on Craig's stress as my own. And so especially when his stress threatens my feeling of security. So say he comes home and he's super stressed about something that happens at work. And then I start panicking, oh my gosh, well, does this mean you're going to want to quit? Or are you going to lose your job? Or is this going to mean a bad review? And so I just get crazy in my own head, taking all of his stress and putting it upon myself, which is so not helpful at all. Because then I stop listening and I stop validating because I'm making it all about me and my own fears. And so it's really hard to ease your way through a meltdown when both of you are having a tantrum at the same time. So make sure that you are aware of not taking on your spouse's stress as your own. So number 2 is, number 1, we have empathize. Number 2 is enlist. Enlist the power of prayer. Recently, it has been so apparent to us that when one of us is stressed and we seem to just be kind of out of control and we don't understand why we're having such an extreme reaction like anxiety or worry or anger or whatever, we will just stop, and whoever is the non-stressed person at the moment will say, can I just pray for you right now? And so it's kind of hard, especially with us, it's hard to say, no, don't pray for me, right? Because we know that prayer is really important and that it works. And so the last few times that we've done that, it has just broken whatever the enemy was trying to, however the enemy was trying to manifest himself. And so when you enlist the power of prayer, you are inviting God into your marriage to do a powerful work. So not only can you pray about the situation, you can pray for your spouse. And sometimes the stress is too big for both of you to carry by yourself, and you want to enlist the power of your community. And so you can text. Just the other day when Craig was stressed, I texted 2 of my friends and I said, could you please pray for Craig today? He's super stressed, and I know that he would just really appreciate somebody else besides me carrying this burden. And so he totally came home like in a better mood today, and I'm just going to attribute that to God's power working in him. Yeah?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so number 1, empathize. Number 2, enlist. And number 3 is?
engage. So, much like Captain Picard, engage.
I don't even understand that, but that's okay.
All you Trekkies out there will get it, and you're probably laughing or rolling your eyes, one of the two. So, one of the things that is important for both parties is to check in with one another, especially the person who was the stress the one who was stressed and is the stressed person. To circle back with their spouse to let them know what's going on, because if you ask someone to pray for you, or someone says, hey, I'm praying for you, there's a certain amount of responsibility as the person being prayed for to kind of check in with them and let them know how things are going. Is it going well? Is it not going well? Can you be more specific about things that you need prayer for? That way, your prayer warriors know what to do, and it's also encouraging for them, and so everyone benefits, in that type of communication.
Yeah, and so part of that engaging too. So if Craig is the one that is stressed, my bad habit has been to just try to make myself as small as possible. Well, actually, I have two bad habits. Either I'm on one extreme where I'm like, oh, you're stressed? Well, I'm stressed too, and this is why I'm stressed, right? And it becomes like my stress is bigger and better than your stress. So that's one extreme. And then my other extreme can be, well, I'm just going to make myself as small as possible and walk on eggshells so that I don't cause you any more stress. And honestly, neither one of those extremes is very helpful. And so for me, in order for me to break my own unhealthy cycles when he's stressed, is that I have to just be like, after I validate and affirm his stress, be willing to share what's going on in my life too, right? Because it's not helpful if someone just lets you sit in your own stress forever, right? You want to validate, but then you also want to come back and engage with them and continue on in your relationship. So I think that that's just super helpful to maintain honesty and authenticity always when you're communicating with your spouse, no matter what the situation is.
Right.
And so that brings us to our fourth point. So if we were to recap, which we are going to recap right now, the 4 E's to easing yourself through this meltdown of supporting your spouse through stress. Number 1, empathize. Number 2, enlist. Number 3, engage. And our last one is encourage. You want to take that one? Or I'll just go. Be a blessing. Be a blessing to your spouse. So one of the things that we did early on in our marriage was read The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. And it was just super eye-opening to be able to figure out how our spouse receives love and to love them and to surprise them and to be a blessing. So Craig's love language is
words of affirmation. And
so last Sunday I left a little note on his computer because he had to work on Sunday. And I just said, thank you so much for providing for our family and working so hard. And that was super encouraging for him, I think. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. And
I validate your feelings.
Thank you. So just a little way. It doesn't have to be extravagant or cost a lot of money, but a little way that you can let your spouse know that you are on their side and that you want to be an encouraging part of their journey through the stress and into peace. So thank you so much for joining us for the Not Project Monday's Marriage Meltdown, and we'll see you next week. Hopefully not stressed.
Exactly.
Bye.
Bye.